What's up, Dallas? Welcome to 2025. My goodness, what a year it has been. 2024, we've had some really great viewers, but I have some really amazing guests this year too. So first, my first guest of 2025 is Miss Jamie. How are you doing, ma'am?
Hi, Rachel. It's so good to see you. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. For all of our viewers out there, can you tell them your social media where they can find you?
Absolutely. On Facebook, I am Jamie McNamara McGinty, and you have to spell it Jaime, like Jaime. And on Instagram, I'm at Jamie McGinty. Again, Jaime.
I love that. So for everybody that's joining us today, Jamie is a fashion runway model who just got started, but she is all over the place. She is like a force to be reckoned with. And when I say
Oh,
that, I met Jamie like, I don't know, what is it, like 4 or 5 months ago, something like that.
yeah.
And it's like her energy, her vibe, everything about her is absolute positivity. And it's like her goal is to inspire others, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for seeing that in me. I mean, I've just been watching you like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I want to be like her. So
Oh,
thank you for seeing that in me.
absolutely. So you are an absolute delight to meet in person. You're also an absolute delight to work with. I feel like anytime someone like comes up to you, it's like you are like a breath of fresh air or like a ray of sunshine. But you told me before that you've been through some things. So you have like a story behind the way you are now. So for our viewers, can you please tell them the story behind what you're doing now?
Sure, absolutely. Um, well, I'm humbled and just honored that God would even see me fit because life has not been super easy. Um, like I told you, I have battled alcoholism.
Hmm.
And, alcoholism is such a touchy subject because it's so the norm. It really
Hmm.
is. And I just thought, well, I'm a wine drinker. I literally thought Jesus turned the water into wine for me. I thought that first miracle was for me. Oh,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
not the case. Not the case. So, I'm mom of four. My oldest is, 21, they're 21, 18, 16, 14, teacher, and life was just so stressful. I've always had this dream of modeling and but it was just pushed back. I'm like, no way, homegirl, you're 45, it's not gonna happen for you. That ship has sailed. But anyways, in that space, I just kept on working my little heart out and trying to be, perfect mom, perfect teacher, head of PTA, all of the things, kids and all of the, sporting events and select soccer and this and that, and hiding behind the fact that my anxiety was just through the roof, that I mean, was I've always been so incredibly worried about what people thought of me. Was I enough? Was I good enough? And in that mindset, I really started turning to wine. And at first, the wine, it was just simply like, oh my gosh, it's magical. I can drink here and there, like the normal average temperate drinker.
Hmm.
Uh, Before I knew it, it was like, as life got more stressful and I was going through some things with my oldest son, he was battling an eating disorder and work was incredibly stressful. And, I'd gone through the divorce and it was just, normal everyday things that people are dealing with. But I never, ever saw myself fit enough to ask anybody for help. I felt like my only worth was in helping others. and reaching out and what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? And
Mhm.
all the while, I'm just drowning in the background. And
Mhm.
that was on me. That was a prideful thing because, like I said, I so worried. What will they think of Jaime McGinty? What do people think if I'm not the one helping and I'm not the one going?
Right.
And so, like I said, then the wine turned to like medicine. It turned to a point
Mhm.
where it was like, oh, okay. Oh, geez. When do I get off work so I can have a glass of wine?
Yeah.
When is it that I'm going to be able to have, make it through the day? You've got this, and then you can have wine. Like, oh, it's your treat. You've worked hard. You get this. You deserve it.
Mhm.
You're this. You're that. And then as it continued to go on, it's a progressive disease. And it became my master to where my tiny little body would just shake if I didn't have it. And it was in that space that I thought, holy crap, what do I do now? What
Right.
do I do now? Because you're in the midst of shame. You don't want to tell a single soul that, oh my gosh, if I don't drink wine, I'm going to be shaking profusely. You know,
Mhm.
so you
Mhm.
know in the back of your mind that you don't want to be different than anybody else. You don't want to admit that there's any sort of a problem. And for me, it was like, well, shoot, if I admit that I have a problem, well, by golly, then I'm going to have to fix it.
Mhm.
And it was that lifestyle. I enjoyed having a glass. I enjoyed being able to have a glass of wine with my girlfriends. What
Yeah.
they didn't know is that I'd had a whole bottle of wine before I left the house, you
Right.
know. And I've learned as I've gone on that this is very normal for a lot of people, is that, hiding in that shame and that um fear, that embarrassment, that needing the wine to simple or alcohol, whatever, in order to really just survive.
Yeah.
Um, so it really, at that point, I was functioning very well. I was still, moving on, doing great, blah, 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 until all of a sudden I really wasn't. I
Mhm.
wasn't. And my kids were like, come on, mom, stop, please. And for me, to have my kids ask me to stop and I couldn't,
Mhm.
that's something that um, I regret with my whole heart, like why couldn't I? But alcoholism is the most selfish disease in the world. I'm not a selfish person. I'd give the shirt off my back, but the
Mhm.
disease is selfish. And
Yeah.
in the act of disease, in the midst of it, you do things that you would never have done before. And in the shame, you hide more and more and more. And so you're telling little fibs, little white lies, little this, little that. And then you're like,
Yeah.
what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
it was at that point where I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do something because this isn't working.
Mhm.
So I decided to admit that this wasn't going well for me. I had tried to stop on my own. I thought,
Mhm.
okay, well, the typical, okay, maybe I'll just drink on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or I'll just,
Oh.
you know, instead of Chardonnay, I'm going to drink Pinot Grigio. That's going to solve my problem. Oh, come on. No, no.
Mhm.
Um, and so I did. I put my tail between my legs and I decided to ask for help. And, I've learned that less than 10% of people will ask for help because we're
Mhm.
so embarrassed and so ashamed that we won't
Mhm.
do it. And I asked for help. Unfortunately, I asked for help from family members that I trusted, and I really, really thought that was in my best interest. And it didn't turn out to be in my best interest. They took that weakness and that time for their own self motives and really to just kind of basically kick me while I was down.
Right.
And so when I came out of treatment after being just so humiliated that I even had to go away, what kind of a mom wants to go away to a treatment center? And I had to
Mhm.
medically detox, and I came back to just shambles, just absolute shambles. And, family members talking about me, spreading lies, spreading rumors, this, and oh, my heavens. So, what did I do?
Mhm.
Relapsed.
Mm.
I went right back to the only thing I knew that helped to calm me down. And
Mhm.
that unfortunately was the wine. But at the first treatment center I was in, I never learned like the behind the scenes, the difference between alcoholism and just drinking. I didn't know there was a difference. I mean, I just knew I didn't want to be called an alcoholic. Who the heck wants to be called an alcoholic? I don't live under a bridge. That
Mhm.
whole
Stigma.
um, it's a horrific stigma. And it's not true, because I tell you what, alcoholism does not discriminate. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't. Um, so, um, as once that happened, and then I made a couple of weeks, and things just kept on. I just kept on finding out more and more things. And oh, my life was completely out of control. I was like, not only, now don't get me wrong, because the alcoholic makes a lot of really bad decisions. We're selfish. We do things as an alcoholic, like I said, that we would have never done before.
Mhm.
So I was making selfish decisions, and I have definitely had to make some amends to the ones that I love dearly. My kids, first and foremost, for
Mhm.
some of the decisions that I made, in when I was under the control of that demon of wine. Um, but in that, um, it just became even more so unmanageable. And they had this hope that, okay, mom's going to be better. But when I came out and just started finding out all of the lies and things, I had done enough mistakes on my own that I was having to take accountability for. I didn't need the extra added bonuses and lies that I didn't have a part of. And so
Mhm.
when that took place, it was just like, oh my gosh. And so went right back to it. And alcoholism is a progressive disease. And
Mhm.
so you just need more and more and more and more and more. So it just got worse. And anyways, went to treatment again,
Mhm.
got out again. And now keep in mind, each time I am not proud of this at all. This is not anything I'm proud of. But I share my story because I'm not, that this is not different. This is not, I mean, this is the norm for a lot of people. And
Mhm.
I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought, why can people just stop? What? You can just stop? Why can't I? I didn't know. Didn't realize that it was an allergy, and that
Mhm.
allergy sets off. And once that allergy sets off, it starts a craving. And the
Right.
craving, yeah, it's a continual vicious cycle.
Mhm.
So after medically detoxing, and I went through a complete alcoholic bankruptcy. My kids were living with their dad, and I had lost myself completely, and I didn't really have any hope. Weighed 97 pounds. I mean, and the alcohol was starting to just completely take a toll on my body. And
Mhm.
when my dad never, ever, ever gave up on me. My dad never. I will forever thank God. And he had found out about the Magdalene House, and he just said, Jamie Lynn, please try it. And so in that space, I had to medically detox again. I ended up in ICU for 10 days. Um, and so that's a pretty sick puppy. And that's
Yeah.
embarrassing to say I'm here because I can't stop drinking wine. I mean, like, it's something to wrap your brain around that's just shameful and painful, and oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Um, And so after I got out of the hospital, I went to the Magdalene House and I spent 2 weeks there where I learned the ins and outs and why I was doing what I was doing.
Hmm.
And once I did that, I had to unpeel all of the layers underneath it as well. So it's been a
Hmm.
really huge, huge growing experience.
Hmm.
I lost a lot. I made a lot of mistakes. I owe a lot of amends. But in that space, God showed up in ways that I never, ever, ever could have imagined. I mean, I look back and I'm just like, oh, you were there the whole time. And how
Hmm.
much grace God gave me, and I was a prayer. I was notorious for, oh heavens, I'll pray for you, and then never having a relationship with God,
You
just
never
kind of
prayed
that.
for yourself. You never prayed for yourself in that process.
Right. Never. I didn't know how to do that. And it was when I finally admitted that I was powerless against the alcohol, that my life had become completely unmanageable and that I could not do it on my own. There had to have been a higher power that was going to get me through this. And that was when I completely gave it over that either God, you're everything or you're nothing at all. There's no in between. I'm going to give it all to you. And
Mhm.
once I started doing that, oh my God. I mean, it's just amazing the opportunities that have opened up for me. And
Mhm.
when I decided to get past that shame, because I promised God in that hospital bed, hooked up to IVs, the doctors told me, if you drink alcohol again, you will die. You will
Mhm.
die. And part of me thought, well, my family's kind of already, I mean, completely,
Yeah.
And so, well, but my kids, those babies. And so, yeah,
Our kids
it,
motivate us, don't they?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So,
I love that.
yeah, so I'm a huge advocate for sharing my story because of that. I want people to know that they're not alone. And I love what you said that when whenever you see me, it humbled me so much that you said I'm a bright light and a or breath of fresh air because
Mhm.
that's what I want to be. I mean, I've been in treatment centers with the most broken of broken, and guess what? She was me. I was the most broken of broken.
Mhm.
My pieces were not just broken, they were shattered. And
Mhm.
in that space, God had me amongst so many different people from so many different walks of life. But what we had in
Mhm.
common was that we were all battling a disease, a
Right.
nasty disease. And so I would been humbled by the amount of amazing people that um, alcoholism has affected, because
Mhm.
it's either, I mean, if it hasn't affected you, it's affected a loved one, it's affected your spouse, it's affected your
Mhm.
child. I mean, it's out there.
It really
So
is.
it,
And
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't understand that, whenever they say this person's on drugs, this person is an addict, this person is watching too much of things they shouldn't be watching. Okay, it's an addiction. And alcoholism is an addiction that a lot of people don't want to accept. So, whenever you said that it was a disease, like drug use is a disease, pornography is a disease. Let's just be real.
yeah,
Gambling is a disease.
it's
Alcoholism, definitely a disease. It's a disease of something that you think you have power over, but you really don't.
absolutely.
So, I am just going to say this for all those people out there, and I know there's probably some friends of yours that are surrounding you now in your walk that are just going to probably agree with me when they say this. We're glad that you got that help. Um, we're glad
Yes.
that you got that help because I mean, the Jamie that I see now, she's collective, she's bright, she's inspiring. You're a really tall, beautiful runway model. And girl, when you on that runway, you work it. Like You do. Like you own it. You own whatever outfit you're in, and I love that about you. And it's like when I connect with you, it's like I see that you went through a lot of stuff, but it didn't stop you from being the woman that you are. Yes. And I hope your kids see it too, because I mean, they got a great mom. Yeah, look, you have a great mom. She's amazing. I love working with her. She inspires me. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Good gracious. You're gonna make my eyelashes fall off. I just put them on.
Goodness.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too, Jamie. Like it's truly a blessing, honestly. Each one of you models that I have met have been a blessing to me in one way or another. But in a way we all inspire each other. So you know, like you inspire me, you keep me smiling, you keep me positive and all that kind of stuff. But I want to ask you, um, so everybody knows your story now, but now
Mm-hmm.
you're a model. So how are you using the two to connect right now? Like in your modeling walk, how are you using your energy to do that now?
You know, it's crazy. And like I said, the fact that I'm here modeling this dream that I've had like my whole life and just kind of put on the back burner. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I be so lucky to do this? And it's amazing because when we're back in, we're about to do a show, we're about to walk the runway. People don't know all of the behind the scenes, right, Rachel? When we're back there, getting our hair and our makeup done, and
Right.
we've got people like, sucking their bellies.
BTS, BTS.
Picture, picture, picture. You can be on the runway in 30 seconds, and oh my gosh, there's just so much that goes behind it, and so many beautiful people all working together. And for me, it's about showing everybody grace and love and just letting them know that I am human because people will say to me, oh, you're a model, a real model. I'm like, I'm a human, a real human with real struggles. And I don't just wake up looking like this. And
Right.
in that space, people will open up to me. They will feel comfortable. They will be able to say, "Oh gosh, well, while I'm, doing your makeup, is there any chance I can talk to you real quick about, my daughter is struggling with it, and we don't know what to do. We don't know how to help her. She's." And to me, I'm just like, "Wow, thank you, God, that because I promised him in that hospital bed, if you'll give me one more chance, I know you've given me a lot of chances, but if you'll give me one more, this time I'll make you proud. And I will share my story and I will take complete ownership for my own recovery and I'll be a voice for the broken." And I've been able to do that. And the lives that the people who will open up to me and, come into, follow me into the bathroom. Hey, can I ask you real quick? Because like I said, it goes back to that shame. Nobody. And the number one thing people ask me all of the time is, when did you know you had a problem?
Mhm.
And, and when they asked me, their little faces are so, uh, I can just see the pain, the
Mhm.
the hurt, the brokenness in their face. And I'll always just start with a hug, and I'll just say, "Are you a hugger? Because I'm going to give you a hug." And then, and then I'll say, well, when I started questioning the way that you're questioning, when I started thinking in the back of my head, this isn't right. I don't think the normal average drinker thinks about drinking wine all day long. I don't think
Right.
that this is normal. And so then after that, I had to ask myself, okay, can I stop? And that's when I came up with all of the excuses of, oh, well, it's raining outside, so I'm going to drink. I'll stop drinking tomorrow when it's sunny. Oh, it's sunny today, so I'll stop drinking tomorrow when it's Christmas, so I'll stop, and until I was like, okay, no, I can't stop on my own. And that was a really hard pill to swallow. And,
Mm-hmm.
with little tears down their face, they'll just say, I can't stop on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to be the first person that they confide in and to say that to, I just feel so humbled because then, I'm able to guide them and to tell them, some people are able, they don't have to medically detox.
Mm-hmm.
Most can't, though. Most do have to
Mm-hmm.
medically detox. And, so I'm able to just kind of guide and I sponsor now. And I mean, anything I can do to raise awareness and to give people hope and give people love. And in that space, people trust me and they'll tell me different things that they're struggling with. And if I can be, um, a warm hug and a listening heart and a hope, a sign of hope, then that's all that really matters to me.
A sign of hope. You said it right there. Like you're giving the people that come up to you a way of ministering to them through love and compassion. And it's more like a needed compassion, something they don't see. Because we know that Jesus loves us. He's very compassionate to us, no matter how
Oh,
many times we've been terrible to ourselves. And our platform is family oriented. We have a
yeah.
lot of kids, we have a lot of teenagers, a lot of parents that watch this channel. And so I just want to tell you, yes, you do give people hope that recovery is possible. And
Oh,
I want you to inspire you to continue doing what you're doing. I think it's
oh, thank
right.
you. Absolutely. And that's one thing that I learned too. I cannot get cocky because I'm not cured. I have to stay in my steps. I mean, it is a must, because
Yeah.
if I even one time was like, oh, I think I can have a glass of wine tonight, it'll start that vicious cycle. I
Yeah.
cannot. And, and to me, I mean, I used to be so ashamed of telling people,
Mhm.
I'm an alcoholic. I can't drink. But now I'm like, yo, I'm an alcoholic. And if you can drink, that's great. If you can drink responsibly, I think that's fantastic. I'm happy
Right.
for you. I can't,
Hmm.
And so it's just that space where it's like, wow, that's a heavy load that I'm like, see ya, I'm
Right.
good. Yes,
Right. Exactly. So I'm kind of letting God kind of guide our conversation here.
I love
I love to do that. I like to do the natural flow conversations 'cause I think
that.
scripted is just too boring. So
I
I
agree. And we're not boring, Rachel. We're not boring at all.
no, we are not boring. We are both very involved in everything that we do. So
Yeah.
I would like to open up just real quick. Is there anybody you would like to thank publicly on your interview today for your journey?
Oh my heavens. Um, God above, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, my dad, who
Mhm.
never gave up on me. My goodness, my sponsor, the Magdalene House,
Mhm.
my boyfriend, the man of my dreams. I'm finally able to have a healthy relationship. And
Mhm.
it's like, wow,
Mhm.
wow, I'm a
This
good,
is
strong,
possible.
healthy person. It
Yeah.
affects every aspect of your life. My goodness sakes, my children, my ex-husband. It's amazing the growth that's come between all of us, just trying to do what's best for the kids now, and that's what it should have always been.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, oh my gosh, my best friend, the people who didn't give up on me because, like I said, it was a rough journey. And the thing that you said that I loved so much was when you said that um, as addicts we need compassion. We need
Mhm.
compassion, and when I got out of treatment that first time, and it was just like the tough love. We're going to air all her dirty laundry. We're going to this, we're going to that. We're going to, let everybody know what a loser she is. That's no way for anybody to get better.
Mhm.
To give somebody a hug and to say, gosh, you're not a loser. You have a disease. And there is a way, but you have to choose it. You have to
Absolutely.
choose it, is just powerful. So, I mean, the fact that God, like I said, would see me fit this little hot express to do his
Oh,
work. Like, hey God, hey.
you got this, girl. You got this. God is using you
Yes. Oh my
ways.
gosh. And to my modeling agency, Hoffridge Agency. Oh my gosh. Only amazing things to come. I am so, so excited about this journey. And,
Mhm.
every time I walk a runway, to me, all I think about is, wow. I mean, this is really my life. And
Mhm.
the thing about it is, as I walk, I want to walk with grace and strength and dignity
Mhm.
and, compassion and love. And people will say that to me after I walk. They're like, we can just tell you're nice. I'm like, I'm nice by the way I walk a runway, then let's roll.
Yeah, that's it. So I would say that you have this I want to say calming presence where people feel comfortable around you and they don't feel like um let's just say it. A lot of models in the industry are they're kind of up there. Like
Oh,
they think they're
absolutely.
better than everybody else. And it's a yeah, I can say it because I've experienced it myself. And I'm just like, no, you're just like the rest of us. You're just trying to make it in this world. So you need to be a little bit more humble. Um,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
I
I've
support that.
definitely eaten my humble pie. So I'm like, hey God, can I have apple pie now instead of humble pie? I'm kind of done with the humble pie for a little while. So
I
I'll
love I
just
love that. I love this interview so much. I'm still learning so much about you, Jamie. But
oh,
my next question for you, because our interview time is almost up, but
oh my
I
gosh,
want
that went so fast.
I know because we're having fun. That's why.
I know.
So my next question for you is, if you could give someone advice, some advice that you received from another person, what would you tell them?
Um, you know, it's very cliche, but the one day at a time.
Mhm.
Tackle life one day at a time and be open to God's blessings, be open to being kind to others and to asking for help if you need it because God will provide every single day. And I'm working on starting a book. Boop, boop.
Oh,
And just I mean, if you knew all of the ways that God showed up for me on a daily basis, the way that my life was intertwined through the kindness of people, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for so many strangers and just amazing, amazing people who went out on a limb for me and
mhm.
believed in me and gave me the hope that I needed. So, one day at a time, if we're open to God's grace, we're open to doing His will and to not judging people. That's one thing. I won't judge anybody's story. It is not my place. Not my place to judge. And that's why, I'll tell people, you can tell me anything because I'm not going to judge you. It's just, it's not who I
Mhm.
am.
Because you've
And
been there. You've been there. You've been
because I've been there, I have been there. And, people will look at me and say, you have? I'm like, yeah, I have. I'm not proud of it, but by golly, I'm thankful for it because it's made me who I am. And
But
I'm
your
still
story is a
getting
good
better.
one. Your story is a
Thanks,
good
baby.
And you're still writing that story.
Ah,
I just, oh my gosh,
Carrie,
I didn't even know that you were
God
writing
is
a book.
still in my story.
Yes.
God
Oh
is
man, I
still
love
in
that.
my story.
I do love that so much about you. For all of the inspiring models out there, can you tell them a couple pieces of advice you would have for anyone in the modeling industry?
Absolutely. I would say, first and foremost, love yourself. You are so worthy. Do not sell yourself short. And also, don't let somebody else's opinion of you tear you down. Because I mean, I went to casting calls where they flat out were like, mm-mm, you aren't our cup of tea. You're too skinny. You're too this. You're too that. And I was already at a stage in my life where I was, had been battling the alcoholism. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel so it could have easily been that I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because nobody likes to be rejected. I mean, we're human. We don't want to be rejected. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And there was I went to one casting call and she said, I'm going to go ahead and take you on, but it's because I feel sorry for you. Just thought, I'll take it.
Oh my gosh,
I'll take
that's
it. But in that space, God, I had so many other opportunities where people saw me, they noticed me, they saw who I was, and
mhm.
then they decided that, oh my gosh, you are our cup of tea. We like how you. So I could have easily been like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna do this because you feel sorry for me. Instead, I was like, okay, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you
Uh-huh.
for feeling sorry for me.
And
Let's
look who
roll.
got you. It got you with so many more fashion designers. Like I've
Oh
seen
my,
you walk in runways like crazy. I have. I've seen your footage. Okay, I know you've been walking.
you. I've been blessed beyond measure. Blessed. Blessed.
I love that. So our time is almost up. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this interview. You can go
Yes,
follow Jamie. She is with
absolutely.
the Hawkridge Agency, which is here in DFW, representing the most talented models and the most amazing models. And
Mm.
everybody has a story to tell in our agency. I'm telling you, we got lots to talk
Absolutely.
about. But tell everybody one more time where to find you on social media.
On social media, on Instagram, I'm at Jaime McGinty, and it's Jaime. McGinty is McGinty. And on Facebook, I'm Jamie McNamara McGinty. So I'm in a blue dress at Dallas Fashion Week. That's my profile pic.
Yes, and for all of you designers out there, I'm telling you, she is an amazing model. She is really, really tall, really tall. So she's runway material for those long dresses. I'm just saying. And if you guys want to reach out to her for her to tell her story for your event, I'm pretty sure she would love to do that as well. So, Jamie, could you give an
Absolutely.
email for them to contact you for that option?
Sure. It is Jamie Lynn, JaimieLynn 618 at Gmail.
If I reach out to her, I think she needs
Yes,
to reach more
anything.
people.
If you have questions about do I'm struggling with alcohol, I need help. Will you
Mhm.
guide me? You bet your buns I will. I'll do
All right.
anything I can.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching our channel. We look forward to the next interview, but this one is one for the books. All right. All right,
Oh,
y'all. Thank you for watching.
thank y'all
Bye.
for watching. Thank you, sweet Rachel. I love
Bye.
you. Bye.